The way you talk to yourself is everything, especially as it relates to your self-esteem. That little voice in your head can seemingly come out of nowhere and narrates your life, literally making up the entire story of your life. It's like you have reality and then you have your thoughts overlaid onto reality, and what you're thinking about is directly impacting the way that you feel about yourself and your life. So, what is it saying? Well, if we were to take a closer look, when you make a mistake, it may say something like, "Oh, you're an idiot. I can't believe you missed this. You're a failure. What's wrong with you?" Or if you feel rejected, have you ever taken inventory of what thoughts come to mind then? Perhaps you find yourself thinking things like, "I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy of love. I'm always going to be rejected. I'm going to be alone forever." And when you're feeling out of control, you may find yourself thinking things like, "I am stuck. I have no idea what to do. I'm never going to get out of this situation. I have no control over my life." And these are just some of the very many common internal types of dialogue that take place for people in challenging situations. And I want you to notice that these things don't really help us. They tend to just cause more suffering in the moment. And if you relate to any types of these internal dialogues, don't worry. We've all been there, and there's definitely nothing shameful about having these thoughts. In fact, these thoughts mostly just come from limiting beliefs and programming that imprinted your subconscious mind as core wounds as the result of past trauma or painful experiences, even in childhood. They kept repeating themselves. Most importantly, these thoughts keep reappearing because they are part of our subconscious comfort zone, and our brain really likes patterns of familiarity. And this is because your brain is trying to keep you alive. So it reacts with those same thought patterns that kept you alive in the past so that it can continue to keep you surviving in the present. Let's say, for example, you had an experience in the past where you told yourself, "Oh, I'm not good enough." And I'm going to remember that so I can protect myself from exposing how not good enough I am in the future. And maybe that was around dating, or maybe that was when you gave a speech at school. And what happens is your subconscious mind, literally, when you go back to give a speech at school again, or you think about going dating again, your subconscious is like, "No, remember, you're not good enough." So it's only ever just trying to keep you safe, but it absolutely does not help from the perspective of our own self-esteem. So, how can we shift the story that our mind tells us when we are on autopilot like that and those negative thought patterns are coming up? Well, first, we have to begin by identifying these negative thought patterns, making them conscious, and then questioning them. We don't want to buy into the first thought that comes into our mind, especially because a lot of those autopilot thoughts come from painful subconscious beliefs or programs in the past to begin with. Then, what we want to do next is we want to shift into a cognitive reframe, just a shift in perception where consciously you're going to choose a new way of perceiving yourself in that situation. If you make a mistake, you might tell yourself something like, "Hey, everybody makes mistakes. This is an opportunity for me to learn and grow." If you feel rejected, you may remind yourself of something like, "Not everybody is a perfect match for each other. We are all looking for different things, and that doesn't take away from me still being worthy of love and connection." And if you feel like you have no control over your life, you might realize something like, "Well, I might be out of my element right now. I can control the way I'm thinking about the situation and going to respond to the challenging situation in front of me. And I still have control there." So while it may be hard to challenge your thinking on the spot at first, you will become better at correcting your internal dialogue as you become more aware of these patterns over time. And by doing that, you are literally rewiring your subconscious mind and completely rewriting your story with time, because repetition plus emotion reprograms. So with each cognitive reframe that elicits a new emotional response over time, you are creating new hardware at the subconscious level to a certain degree. So if you want to do a much deeper dive into this work and you want to learn more about how your internal dialogue impacts your self-esteem, check out our Skyrocket Your Self-Esteem course, where we go through the major factors that negatively impact your self-esteem. And we learn to reprogram those things at the subconscious level, rewire them, and free ourselves so that we can feel confident, strong, and comfortable communicating with other people on a daily basis and in our lives. You can check that course out for free for 7 days by clicking the link in the description box below. And thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video.